Good evening, all, and welcome to the Tactical Devils. As you know, I'm your host, Jarvis, and tonight Stu will join me. Hopefully, we have some other guys we have asked that will jump on and join us on this show, Jarvis's Corner, every Monday night, 9 p.m. Oh, now I have some feedback. Let's strangle that one. Yeah, and tonight's show is going to be about Højlund. And the question is, why doesn't Højlund get the ball? It's not just about poor service or midfield issues. I think it's deeper than that. In this episode, we will break down the harsh truth. Højlund's off-the-ball movement, his decision-making, and positional awareness are letting him down. So his teammates, they see it. For me, I feel they don't trust him. They don't trust him to be in the right place at the right time. And if you play the ball, you'll understand why that matters. If you played football yourself. And we will analyze Højlund in the context of Rúben Amorim's tactical system, as we always do. We will follow up Manchester United's 0-0 draw against Manchester City and see if Højlund's profile suit the way Amorim wants to play. And we have been linked to other strikers like Osimhen, Delap, and we will see and have a discussion about that, a debate. And we will look up on examples. I will bring up some clips, and we will see how Højlund can improve if he wants to be a Man United player. So we will see you after the intro. See you in 2 seconds. Yes, and welcome to the Tactical Devils. That intro brings you back. It's so much vintage history. It does, yes, it does.
So, you can pack it with was it Mateus? Hello to Mateus in front of him?
Yes, it's from, I think it's from the Euros.
That would have been the Euros
88, something 88. Like that.
Yeah, was that the, so that wasn't the famous game, obviously, where Germany played Holland, and there was a lot of spitting and.
No, that was World Cup '90 with the.
That's World Cup '90. That was Rijkaard and Villa, wasn't it?
In the I think it was the last 16.
Yeah, Rijkaard and Villa. Rijkaard was walking. Villa was walking away. And Rijkaard got right in his. Yeah, right. It was horrible, wasn't it? Horrible.
Really, Villa just.
He was like, oh. Oh, crikey, horrible.
Yes. I'm as I said, tonight we will talk about Rasmus Højlund, and I have a feeling that it's about trust, because we saw yesterday they could have passed the ball to him a lot of times. So we will come down to that and break down that subject. But first of all, I just want to say hi to everybody tuning in. So we have Neil Driscoll, always coming early. Thank you, Neil. Evening, everyone. Good evening, Neil. Johnny K is here. Evening, everyone. Tells everybody to smash the like on the video if you haven't already. Yes, that's important. We need all the help we can get. YouTube is not our best friend at the moment. They're not pushing our streams. So I have to rely on you guys. You are the key out of this. How we can break out of jail, YouTube jail, and actually start to gain some traction in the big world of YouTube. Danny B is in the house. Big up, Danny B. Danny B.
Yeah, Danny B's in. Wendy's in. Big Trev's in, as always. Johnny K's actually at work, bless him. So he's watching while he's at work. Johnny K. So big up, Johnny K.
Ooh, big up, Johnny K. We're not going to say it out loud for your employer to hear.
No. We won't say. Johnny K, get back to work.
Johnny, get right back here. Get to work.
Only kidding, brother.
Stephanie, big up Jarvis.
Johnny K will love the new intro.
Yes.
John Commode will love the new intro. It's right up his alley. Right up the Johnny K's alley, bless him.
I don't know if you saw it yesterday on Noradin's channel, United Real Therapy. I made an intro for his channel too.
I noticed everything. Good old the Real Therapy is almost a carbon copy.
Yes.
Our very own Practical Devils. It's absolutely brilliant.
Noradin was like a graphic designer now, and then producer
how much,
and executive.
How much? That's what I want to know. How much?
It's all for free, you know.
It looks great.
On my heart. Great. I just want to contribute and help people. You know what? For me,
more green. Noradin's got more green, hasn't he?
More green and gold.
Yes, I like it. Yeah, green and gold. Big up, Steph too. Thank you, Noel. Raymond Pierce is in. Hi, Jarvis. I've shared the show.
Oh, thank you, Raymond. Thank you. It's been a while since I've seen Raymond Pierce in here, but thank you, Raymond. And is that a flag?
Yeah. Who else is? Is that? Don't know on that one.
No. And we have Muhammad Saki. Big up, Muhammad. Mr. Zaki.
What's up? That's an old. That's an old
joke.
Budweiser advert.
Yes.
What's up?
We have Wendy in the house. What's happening? Højlund looked decent in this first season. Yes, and you know, when it comes to his stats, shooting stats, it's not that bad, you know, but it's overall getting to those chances. His conversion rate when he gets a shot away is not too bad. So his stats are actually not the worst, but stats are one thing. The other thing is the eye test. And we will break down everything. Rushmano comes in and says, subscribe to the channel and join the membership. And actually, Rushmano has done that. He became a member.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah.
Thank you, Rushmano, for joining the Devilish Tacticos Brigade.
Yes, here he is, Johnny K. Always,
Johnny K. You know what? I watched Johnny K long before he watched me on YouTube. That's funny. Johnny K and Stu, and who else was on that show? It was a lot of guys.
So there'd have been Ben Pierce. Used to run this Biggsy, Mark Biggs, the bigger Mark Biggsy.
I love that show every Sunday night or Monday night.
The Wall of Reds.
That was my favorite show of the week. I think I was the only one in the chat. I was by myself.
You was? Yeah, we were very, very small then, and All for United just never grew. It got a decent subscriber, 7,500, but it just never grew, and it changed hands, and now they really focus more on the women's team. They have requested the dynamic duo. That can't be us then, because we can't be the dynamic duo, can we? Batman and Robin, maybe. I don't know who was Batman, who's Robin, but they have asked me and Jarvis to contribute, but we don't have the time because we are solely focused on this channel.
Yeah. Well, it's most about time for me.
Same here.
Yeah, it's most about time. I have a family and a job and a career and all the things. So let's just go into it. I'm just stalling a little bit because I'm waiting for Bombaye to join us, because Bombaye is soon to join us. He will be on the panel tonight. We know always on the Monday night we do a panel show, so it's just not you and I sitting here waffling as always.
As we always do, and it is waffle. Actually, that's why YouTube got us in prison. We're in the waffle prison. Not you. It's like YouTube. We are not you two Muppets again. So right, get in prison. Yeah. That's it.
I saw a comment here. I just gotta scroll. Yes, I think it was Nas M87 coming in and say yes, it's Lebanon on the Raymond Pierce. Yes, and I have speaking about Lebanon. We have one guy here. That's the one and only Bombaye. You're the voice.
The voice.
Hola, amigos.
Hola. ¿Cómo está?
Bueno, undo, amigo. ¿Qué pasó? Hola, Tacticos.
Devilish Tacticos.
Devilish Tactic. I'll practice my Chinese.
Konnichiwa.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm glad you could join us, Bombaye, because
Absolutely.
we are planning to do. I will just bring you in, and we are going to talk about Højlund tonight and what he brings. And I have a theory, and the theory is the players don't trust him, and that's why he's not getting the ball, because he can sometimes get into the right positions, but we're not passing the ball to him. So, and let's, if you don't want to talk chitter chatter a little bit more, we can just jump right through it.
Whatever you like. Whatever you like. Good evening to everybody in the chat. Hope
The
you're all
chat
doing
loves
well.
you. Stephanie
I love
comes in
that.
with love hearts. Danny B, Bombaye, fist bump.
Hey,
Yeah.
big up everybody, man. That's a lovely welcome. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Pleasure to be here.
And Mohammed Saki comes in. What's up, Bombaye?
What's
What's up?
up?
That's it.
You remember that?
Yeah, what an album that is. Absolutely brilliant. I love that.
Yes. Good evening, Mohammed.
And we have bath time here coming in, and it's lads. Yes, good evening, bath time. Yeah. So, guys, girls, let's just go into it. And okay, I will start because it's been flying under the radar, and you know the thing is, we all played football. I played the game. Stu played the game. Bombaye, you played the game. I think you're still playing the game, and as a football player, you recognize it straight away because we all played with that type of player, that one guy on the team who's constantly calling for the ball, throwing his arms up, sprinting into space. But the issue is the movement of that guy is not intelligent. You know, there's no timing, there's no feel for where and when to be, and it's not making the kind of runs that invite you to pass. It's just moving, it's just running all over the place. I know you probably played with that type of player, Bombaye.
Yeah, I did 100%.
Yeah, and my theory is Højlund has become one of those. I think the players want to give the ball to Højlund. They want to give him the pass, but they don't trust him. They don't know if he will make the run. And sometimes when Højlund on chance make that run, he doesn't receive the ball. Because sometimes we saw yesterday, he had a great diagonal run one time when Garnacho was on the break. Another time he pushed in front of the goal when Garnacho did the cutback. So they're not giving him any support. But when they do, he's probably not there. So do you think Højlund is one of those? And the problem is the players don't trust him?
When Højlund made his debut against Arsenal, I was quite impressed with the touches, the give and go. If you remember, he did a really nice kind of Cruyff touch.
Yeah.
Off when, and I thought, oh, I like that. And he came into the team against Gabriel, who's a tough customer in Saliba, and I remember he was hustling, he was fighting, just did a good job. I like that. But I'm not sure why Højlund is becoming this way after going on 2 years now. I'm not sure what kind of mentoring he's getting. But Højlund is a body. And my problem with Højlund is considering the size of the man, and he's fast. You give the ball to Højlund and he doesn't get it under control a lot of the times. He seems to have the kind of feet I wasn't expecting him to have. You pointed it out to me actually in a very, very slow-mo once. It's a bit Lukaku-ish, wooden feet I call it. You can't take the sting out of a ball. I don't know how you know, I'd love to maybe try and work with somebody who has that problem if I had time and try and tell him how just to take the sting out of the ball, but seems to bounce off his feet, and this is a big problem. And you see the difference when Zirkzee is in the team. He's able to use, and they're similar size, to use his body in an intelligent way to keep the defender at bay, get the ball under control, bring somebody into play. This is one of the things I really love about Zirkzee. You see the starting body shape of Zirkzee, where he wants the ball. I always feel as an attacking midfield player, a striker will compel me to give him the ball without telling me what he needs because of where he goes. He's telling me where he wants the pass. What space do you want the ball played in? Højlund, I find him, he's very static sometimes. It's a lot of chaos,
Okay.
unorganized chaos with Højlund, I just feel. There's lots of moments in games I watch him and I feel there's a run to be had there. Make that run. Force the pass.
Mm.
Make the defender work. Drag him where you want him. There's no intuition. There's just two-dimensional football, Jarvis, you know. He does get there sometimes where I want him to be, but inevitably he's a passenger, and it's costing us a hell of a lot because I know when Manchester United play without a striker, I do feel the vacancy in that
Mm.
central position in and amongst the centre backs. You do feel it, and you do feel that we do drop naturally, and we are a bit lower, and it's harder to get up there because the game is more in front of us. But with him there, it's eh, he's not really giving us anything. He's not giving me anything that I want. He can finish. I've been impressed. There's some competent finishes there. There's been moments of Højlund where I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
oh, there is something there. He makes a goal for himself. He's got a decent strike. I've seen a left foot. I've seen a right foot. In the air, I'm very disappointed. In the air, I'm very disappointed with Højlund
Yeah, he's
because
a big guy. He should be better winning those duels.
really,
Yeah.
he's massive. I remember seeing him next to Haaland. He's actually more of a unit wider than Haaland.
Mm.
And he's got to impose himself. He's got to use that to his advantage. I just feel that Højlund has stagnated so much. It's almost as if somebody that goes to a job that they're just going to go through the motions, wait till it's over, and then get off. Why is this happening? Is the question. Is that it? He's 23, isn't he, or 22? Should be able to develop a player, and he's playing his minutes. He's getting his minutes.
Yeah.
But I see Amorim now is starting to leave him out, rightly so, because we are yielding better results with Zirkzee, albeit we are a bit deeper. I just don't know exactly what's happening in training, but Rasmus Højlund to finish the season and the way that he's played throughout the season um, tells me that he needs a mentor. He needs some serious competition. He needs somebody that is going to teach him, learn from. I remember Ruud van Nistelrooy said, I used to get told, go to training, you watch Bergkamp, you learn from Bergkamp. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a wonderful striker, beautiful finisher. I love Ole.
Yeah.
Ole's got Yorkie, Coley, Teddy. It's four of them. Dimitar, Rooney, Zlatan comes in. You'd have hoped that Martial it would have rubbed off, learned, it didn't work that way. But we don't have anybody. Xerxes not a nine. Xerxes not a natural nine.
No, he's not. He's
I
not.
don't, I like him where I think we like him in the same place. We like him in the 10. I really like him in the 10. But Højlund, man, is just not making himself available in the way that he should. He's not
Mm.
opening spaces for his teammates. He's too static. He's become accustomed. I don't know if Eric Ten Hag's tenure had a negative impact on him. Just I want you to kick and punch, drop deep, fight. It's a graveyard shift. I'd hate to be a striker in that team.
Mm. Mm.
But in this team, there is now an opportunity for you to feed off Zirkzee, link with Zirkzee, play with Bruno. We're trying now, we're getting the width. The build-up play is improving. We're getting a lot of opportunities in the final third now. Yes, quality decision making is not there, but you should be, starting to feel a little bit enthused. This is a different thing to Ten Hag,
Yeah.
but I'm not seeing it. I don't know. I'm not seeing it. And I want
Mm.
to. I really want to. I like to give. I like the boy. When I watch the interviews and I see how he speaks, he's a nice guy. He's a good kid. You don't see any problems or any issues with him. I want it to work. I don't blame him completely, but it's become quite stale and stagnant. And when he plays, we're carrying him. He's not offering what I want him to offer.
Yeah, yeah. I think you touched on a lot of good things. I will give the ball to my good friend Mr. Stu Woolley, and I like this comment here from Roshmano. Højlund doesn't even win fouls, and if you're not scoring, help the team in other ways. Stu, what's your take on? Can he do more?
He's the conundrum of the season, isn't he, Højlund? I look at him and obviously listen to what Bumbier has to say. And he's absolutely right in his assessment of it. To be a striker, you've got to be hugely demanding. You've got to be massively demanding of flair players like Bumbier. You've got to be on Bumbier's back constantly. You've got to be speaking to yourself, Jarvis, as a wide left midfielder. You've got to be talking to Keno as a holding midfielder. You've got to be talking to your right-sided player constantly. Those are your 4 linchpins and the key to your success as a forward. Now, that sounds massively daft and stupid, but Bumbier and Jarvis will tell you guys that they are there to service the striker. And if the striker's not demanding the ball, he's not running in behind, he's not aggressive, he's not angry if the ball doesn't come into him. If he's making that run and he's not getting the ball, he's not saying anything to you, he's just turning away and he's running back to his position. That's no good to you. You need a focal point of danger, and a striker should be dangerous at all times. I actually don't think he suits Manchester United, our good old friend Højlund. I think he could be akin to the most old-fashioned number 9 that you go and you see back in the 70s and the 80s, what I would call a proper, Stefan was right actually, a proper centre forward, and you don't see that anymore. A proper centre forward. We're trying. Hey Cass, good to see you. We're trying. People are trying. And there is no evidence, by the way, to suggest that he's more like a very old-fashioned centre forward, because we're not seeing that play. And I don't think under our system or our current way of playing, Højlund will ever be a great success. I agree with Bumbier. I think his finishing at times has been expert. At times. That you're having one finish in 10 chances over a period of 6 months. Now, just let that sink in. I think I'm right there on a Bumbier. Must be. One finish, 10 chances over a 6-month period. And it's like I said,
if it's that good at all, I think it's less than 1 in 10.
Yeah, probably 1 in 10. But I'm just...
No, you're right, Stu. I mean, some of the finishes I've seen, some of the dinks, the left foot smashed it into the top corner. The one against Villa and Newcastle, he shifts it, makes a goal for himself with the right foot, finds the bottom corner. So I've been surprised with those, but it's indicative that there is a person that can score goals. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying at times, and then it disappears. But it's the outfield general play that's killing it.
Yes, and so I think that, I mean, I don't know whether you saw last night's show on B8, but I made a point on a couple of occasions on how deep lying Højlund was. So when Jarvis was going through his videos and his uploads, I was saying, well, yeah, but look what's in that picture. There shouldn't be anywhere near that picture, and it's Højlund, and he's having to start from deep all the time. I don't want him involved in anything else but our offensive area. I don't want him trying to tackle back. I don't want him heading, at the front post. I want him up top in our offensive area. You have to bear in mind that a striker is there to score goals, obviously, but he's also there, believe it or not, to create space and create yards or areas that our midfielders can move into by occupying one or two halves. And I don't see him doing that enough for me. We play with I've got a guy who plays for us on a Saturday afternoon. He's fucking infuriating. We will put the ball into his feet and it's bouncing off his knee, his fucking shin. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? He doesn't arch his back to control the ball. He doesn't arch his back to make a defender think. Defenders usually get in front of him rather than him getting in front of the defender. He doesn't. His hold-up play is not great, and yet he has 6 chances maybe a game, and he scores 1 or he hits the post 1. So it isn't good enough on our side either. But and by the way, I agree with both of you in terms of the training element of it and the development. And I've always said this: a player develops himself, and they do. But he's got to be in a position where he's going to the juniors, or he's going to the under-23s, or he's going to Garnacho, or he's going to whoever and saying, look, this is where I want the ball. This is where I need you to feed me the ball, and I will do the rest. And if you pass me the ball and I'm in there and I don't do the rest, then that's on me. That's not on you. You feed me that ball in here and I will deliver. And I think we don't have the players to do that, by the way. We haven't got the accuracy in our crossing for a start. And I think everyone in the Devilish Tacticos knows we haven't got the accuracy on our crossing. We don't have the benefit of intelligence in our crossing. We don't have the benefit of intelligence in the final 25-yard sector. I'm not just talking 25 yards. I'm talking a whole sector. That's left to right, and where to cross the ball and where not to cross the ball. You know, one of the best things about Beckham and Giggs were they operated around the 25 yards outside of goal for crossing purposes, and they did that because it gave them the most. It gave them the most chance of accuracy. Okay, so the more you go to and you drive to the byline, your accuracy levels depreciate. They decrease because you've got to move quickly. By getting the ball in from 25 yards diagonal and whipping it like that, it allows you more accuracy. It also offers you the chance to put as much power on it as you deem necessary from a conversation you've had with your striker to say, well, look, I need more power on it because I just want to guide it. I don't want to have to use my neck muscles to head it. I want to guide it in. So you put a bit more whip in it, a bit more pace, and I'll just pop it into the corner and I'll have the goalkeeper standing there. None of that happens anymore. You watch our approach play. We get to the diagonal around 20, 25 yards out, and we start to come in. Or we try and play the overlap in. By the time the overlap's in, either Dorgu or Dallo or Garnacho, they're on the byline, and you just can't do what you need to do. He doesn't make the runs near post, far post. So he may get into decent positions in terms of where he should be trajectory-wise outside of the box, but when he gets into the box, he doesn't know what to do. Does he? Or does he? Or does he know what to do? And we don't know what to do on the external part of that. So there's a hell of a lot.
That's my point, you know. That's why I don't think they trust him. They don't trust him. He's that guy who always runs around and you know, always waves out his arms and wants the ball.
Yeah.
But
there's a hell of a lot to break down on this because, you know, if I'm playing up front and I'm playing with you and Bumbaye, I am going to occupy the 2 centre halves and one of the full-backs. Okay, so I'll be going either the left side or the right side, but I'm taking one centre half with me across to the full-back. I want him watching me at all times. And then I'm going to spin off him. I'm going to try and get in between him if I can. And I'm going to either click my fingers because me and you, Jarvis, or me and Bumbaye, we've had that. As soon as I do that, I want the ball in. And if I'm not there, that's my issue, not yours. I don't see any of that communication at all in the whole team, not just into Højlund, in the whole team. And there is none of that communication. He'll never run across the 18-yard box on the outside. He'll never stretch a defender. So, you know, so I go back to actually what I said right at the very beginning. I don't think he suits Manchester United. I don't think we play to his strengths. And I think he's more of an old-fashioned 80s centre-forward than as a current centre-forward. That would be my take on it.
That's a lovely take, Stu, and I think I see a lot of people in the Devilish Tacticos are agreeing with you, and a lot of people feel that Højlund is not good enough. Wootenator comes in, say we have 40 likes, so that's great. Thank you everybody for smashing that like, and if you haven't, it's time to smash the like. I think we are 87 watching on X and YouTube at the moment, so that will be great. That's amazing. That's amazing. I have one good comment here I want to bring up. I think it brings out a really good point. I think it was from Nash. Yes. Nas M87 comes in and say, do you ever look at the club and wonder maybe if we are the problem, very few players make it. Maybe realizing us goats and FO are the problem. Players leave and get better. So we see this. We see now Rashford is the latest one actually starting to kick on for Villa. We've seen Anthony. We've seen a lot of players doing well. McTominay when they leave Man United. And I wouldn't say that they play at worse clubs, especially when you think of Villa, that's a almost better club than Man United at a higher level at the moment. Napoli and also Real Betis I would say they are almost at the same level as Man United at the moment. So we are actually, players are doing well when leaving Man United. So do you think Nas has a good point?
Do you mind if I take this first, Bombier, or do you want to, my old mate?
Be my guest, pal.
I listened to an interview with Scott McTominay. I don't know if you saw it. It was yesterday. Did you see it, Bombier?
No, I didn't.
He made a point about his strength. He just come out about, he wasn't criticising the club. He just made a point about his strengths. I've always been a late arrival in the box.
Yep.
That's what he said. And I always played at 6 and an 8. I wasn't allowed to flourish and allowed to play my own game. So I was hamstrung, he was saying. And I thought that was quite interesting. So different managers, all managers, saw McTominay similar. Now, we've all said before, by the way, McTominay was a striker, started out as a striker. He's finishing to tell you that he started out as a striker. He's played centre-half. But today's game, I'm going to give Jarvis, myself, Bombier some kudos now.
Yeah.
And I think Gary Neville's been watching our show as well, because people are finally waking up to the idea that all this bullshit about modernism in football is bollocks. And it has been for a long time. That game we all saw yesterday was drab. How many times did I say pre-game, Jarvis, we've got to take a risk in that game? All right. I said it Friday night, didn't I, after Keith?
You said it. You said it, and you said it before the Forest game too. You said the same.
Got to take a risk. And my phrase, Bobby, I don't know if you ever heard, I always say I love to go rogue. I want players to go rogue in a match. Not do what the skipper wants, not do what the gaffer wants. I just want people to push, and push. Do what you feel is necessary to win the game. On that. Now, I think these players, whether it's Rashford or whatever, they're told to go out and play their game. Fergie used to do it all the time. I want you to play your game. I want you to kind of stay within a structure, but I want you to play your game. Now, Jarvis, Bombier, as attacking midfielders, if I'm the skipper of the team and I'm at centre half and I'm saying, right, Bombier, I need you to sit, and you'll go, and Bombier goes to me, yeah, no problem, but I'm stifling him. I've just taken the magic out of his feet and shoved it out into the dressing room. I've stifled him, stopped him. And I say to you, Jarvis, left back, you'd took along and go, but I've taken the magic out your feet. I've taken the magic, two magic ingredients out of the team because I've lost what you two bring to the team. And that's what we need. We need players to turn around and say, sorry, Gaffer, I know, or just take the game by the scruff of the neck, as people have said, and go ahead and do it. All this modernism crap we've seen before. We've seen it in the 70s, the 80s of false nines and smaller players buzzing in and around at the box. It's nothing really new. That the Messiah, as we all take the piss out of it, because he can't. He's not the Messiah at the minute, is it? He can't seem to get and understand that football is no different to what it is in 70s and 80s. So I don't know. I think it's a good question raised by Naz. I don't think it's club. I think it's individual players' inability to have the strength of character to say, sorry, Gaffer, on this occasion, I know better.
If you can read out this, I think Boxing Straight talk is not agreeing. You say, no, I disagree. That it's this club. I think the last 3 years, the players we've signed are nowhere near the level of the players we used to sign. And I think Ten Hag has set us back for years.
See, but Boxing Straight talks right there. And actually, sorry, Bombay, I'll finish now, mate.
No. Do your thing, man. I'm enjoying it.
Wendy says exactly the same point. Did we hear the Varane interview? And I did. Players don't have the freedom anymore. You've got to get rid of that shackle. You have to get rid of that shackle, because I'm not saying we've got the great players, and I agree with Boxing Straight talk. I don't think we recruited well at all. I think we'd all agree that there are certain players who think, what the effing hell, when you could have got Sanderberg. You could have got Højlund.
Why couldn't we sign Sanderberg?
They're 5 million. We could have got Haaland for 5 million. We could have got, there are players we could have picked up for 5, 6, 7 million. And now we're paying 80 million. We could have got Harry Maguire for 35 million. But we dicked about. We got him for 80 million. All that kind of nonsense. So Boxing Straight talks right. But Wendy's right. Once you stifle a footballer, once you take that spirit out of the body, then you just become a puppet. And we have a team of puppets at the moment, and we've got to stop it. It's got to stop. People don't like what Roy Keane says he's criticising. Gary Neville's criticising. Paul Scholes is criticising, because these players are full of frustration and absolute fucking anger about what it used to be. And Fergie, by the way, we all know what he was like, but he would allow players that freedom. Sorry, Bumby, I apologise, mate.
No. I'm enjoying listening to you, man. I think, the comments are brilliant this evening. I think we're homing in on Højlund. Dav made a good comment. There are times in a game where I think it's no big secret that we're lacking penetration, and we don't get the type of overloads consistently in the final third all the time. And sometimes there can be a bit of isolation for Højlund. I do feel there are things about this team that I'm starting to like. I mentioned yesterday on the URT that certainly we used to concede 20 shots a game. That's completely stopped. That's finished now.
Yep.
But we have to realign the balance and give a little bit more in the attack. And this is probably where we keep hearing the word risk, rightly so. We have to take a little bit more risk. Rúben Amorim, I like the fact that he's quite self-assured, that he says next season you are going to see a massive improvement. The cost is the season that you are seeing this year. I hope so. And there are certainly problems, and there are patterns, as Nas rightly says, and others in the comments have alluded to that. And what you're talking about, Stu, is right. I've experienced it, and we've seen it not just recently. Post Sir Alex Ferguson, I remember Di Maria felt stifled by Louis van Gaal. He said so. Football, to me, I used to like it a little bit more. I feel it's very system laden now. It's a bit rigid. It's all about the system, the fitness. That's probably why there's not many players that I would pay to watch. Now take me back 10 years. Zidane, Totti, Hazard, Ronaldinho. I pay money just to see them play.
Agree.
Those players, they don't really exist. My position, the way that I like to play, just like as a secondary striker, as a support midfield, then that's my area. I'm there to supply. I'm there to score. as well. I'm there to link up. That's my game. This position don't really sort of exist now. Either it's a Firmino type thing that,
Mm.
and now you're playing lone strikers. Nobody playing two strikers anymore. But lone striker is playing with inverted guys, and three guys behind him. But that
Mm.
specialist guy that can conduct, and you can give him the ball, he can drop a shoulder, beat a guy. Those types of players are gone. And that's, I think, symptomatic of the game of football, how it's very, very system based. So I would feel a little bit restrictive. I'll confess, I'm a team player. I put a shift in, but I do play on my instincts. I'm an instinctive player. I tend to feel what's happening around me
Mm.
and do the right things. I just trust my intuition. That's how I've always played, and it served me pretty well. We had a period where I was expected to be going up for headers and doing flick-ons. I said, "Nah, that's not me. I can't play that game." Or make runs into the channel and get
You want to
balls.
ruin the hairdo. Hairdo.
Can I just
Exactly.
say? Can I just say something?
I don't want to pop the ball the amount of gel I used to put.
Can I just add something to that?
Yeah.
What a brilliant analysis of playing system football, basically, and how these types of players don't exist anymore. And what I really like about what you were talking about, Bummy, is you were talking on instincts and feel. Okay, you are listening to the patter of feet, and that is allowing you to understand immediately which side of the of your body your opposition player is if he's coming in behind you, and it's enabling you purely by thought and listening to determine where you're going to go to get yourself out of a situation already. Why doesn't that exist anymore in football?
I think Paul Scholes comes to my mind. He said, I take my kids to football, and we used to just take them, just play. Now, system. This is where you need to be. This is where you should be with the ball. It takes the fun out of it a little bit.
But why can't people hear and understand? Why can't people hear? You talk about feel and touch. I listen to you a lot, and you talk about feel and touch all the time. That was your game. My game's a bit more in your face. So I'm the one that's coming in behind you, like a train, But you'd hear me, wouldn't you? You'd listen to me. You'd know where I was, and you'd adjust accordingly. Why doesn't that happen anymore?
I don't know, man. I've not played at this standard of this level of football. I've reached like semi-pro level myself.
Yeah.
Peripheral vision was a big tool for me to anticipate you.
Yeah. That's what.
Yeah, to have a picture in my mind of what you're doing, and I've already planned what's going to happen. I'm going to execute it. It'll work or it won't work, but I've considered the possibilities of exactly what you're about to do.
Yeah.
And just looking up and seeing like where's the teammates, where's the space. If you give me space, I take it. You don't see a lot of players now take the space. I remember Bobby Charlton said, man, rest in peace, our manager Sir Matt Busby used to just say to him, look, if you see space in front of you, you take that space. You've got a good shot. Anything within 20, 25 yards, have a dig. Make sure you just get it on target. These I don't see a lot of that anymore, man. Lots of players, especially the sitting midfielders. One thing I liked about Mika, he wasn't perfect, but he took space. He ran with the ball. He drove the ball forward. I like that. That's what, as a young guy, that's what they taught us. I don't know where I'm going with this, but
no, it's my fault, Mama. Yeah, because I just wanted to point out to the Devilish Tacticos.
I just feel like playing right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I know, but football's about feel as well, isn't it? Feeling the air around you changing, the anticipation of me coming in and absolutely clattering you, or you doing a 50-yard pass to Jarvis and then mixing up with a 2-yard simple pass. Predictable in the game.
Somebody, Stu, just to caveat what you're saying in the comments, mentioned Højlund is playing off. He's playing as if he read a book. He's not figuring the game out. He's just making. I don't know what he's doing. There's no real purpose to it. It's very chaotic. I've always felt with Højlund, look, you just have to simmer down a little bit. Your temperament is too excitable. Just relax. Just relax, man. You know, play it off easy. Get a feel for it. Get into the game. Get into the game. You're and there is some pertinence to certain comments that have been made. That one criticism I constantly have on a weekly basis of this team, the decision making of the people that's supposed to supply is poor. We talk about Garnacho. We talk about pure ability of our wing backs. Bruno is even guilty of it certain times. That has to be better. And he has to be more demanding. I am the focal point of this team. If I'm making the runs, you've got to play it. You've got to find me. Yeah. At the moment, there is a disconnect. Højlund has to take a lot of responsibility, but I think a lot of people in the comments, that they are also right. Around Højlund has to be better too.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I think so.
But my point, Boumbaye, is where Højlund is right now. It's on him. He needs to raise his game and develop much better understanding with the other players and how to play the game. You know, because he's a striker at the top level, and he runs, he moves around, and it looks like it lacks purpose. You know, he gets into decent positions now and then, but it feels more like he's guessing. It's guesswork. And it's not a product of intelligent in-game movement and football intelligence doing this. It's just running. And I think a lot of the people sense it. I think Bruno senses it. I think Garnacho feels it. I think Zirkzee feels
I love that comment. So I said on Facebook. He's right, actually, because my lad's like 25. Well,
big up Raymond.
Facebook.
I think Jarvis, you absolutely just nailed how I feel when you said guesswork.
It is guesswork, yeah.
And I think if he raises his game, it gives him the credibility to start earning the trust. I'm doing my job. Now you're not finding me.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not buying the argument people saying he's not getting the service and he needs to speak out and demand the ball. I don't buy it, because it's not how football works. You know how football works. It's about relationship with your teammates, and you know who to trust. And some of the players that you pass the ball the most to is the guys who never shout. They don't make a sound, but you know they are there. That's how football is. It's not about shouting for the ball all the time.
Yeah,
I can slightly counter that, only slightly, but I can counter that. From a defensive point of view, the lack of quality that comes in makes my job 50% easier as a defender. As I said, so if I've got Højlund in my peripheral, I'm looking at a half moon shape. So it's a half moon shape from my fascia to my rear. That's the area I'm going to allow him to run. And the reason I'm doing that is I can step forward, sideways, and backwards. That's why I'm allowing that little kind of, I'll call it a half moon, a semicircle. And I've got him under control. I can also touch him in front, to the side, and to the back. So that's shirt grabbing around the side of his body, not to shirt grab on his, just to get hold of him and stop him. That also allows me to allow him to run in. And if he gets in and he's a little bit quicker than me because I'm sleeping or I'm ball watching, I'll cut across the diagonal to stop his play and his flow to goal. That's what I'll do. So that's the area. So if the ball is weak and it's not accurate and there's no communication, honestly, I'm picking grapes, apples off a tree. I really am. And that's why he's not getting in between and getting, headers in between two centre halves or he's not making a run near post up, because I don't think also, and I agree with you, by the way, I don't think they trust Højlund. I don't think he trusts them either, which is another issue. That's it, Jarvis, I'd counter with. Everything else, I agree with what you and Bombay both said, 100%. But just from a defensive point of view, he makes my life so much easier, because it's the old. It's not the the full cross. It's just half the cross basically, and that's the area that you do. And if Bombay will be looking, so Bombay and yourself, Jarvis, you and Bombay sounded like you two similar players, because you're quite a creative midfielder as well, weren't you, Jarvis? And a goal scorer.
Yeah.
So you guys. Well, okay.
Okay.
You guys,
that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, you guys are looking for the gap in between the centre half and the fullbacks. That's your chosen area of attack. And when you're looking at your 25-yard striking, that's where you're doing it. You're not doing it from the middle. You're doing it from slightly to the right, slightly to the left. That's where we have a problem if Højlund is occupying me. And he's doing something to occupy me, and that gives you the space to get your strike. That's ideally what it should be. But we don't do that, do we? No, so I'm not countering for the sake of being argumentative. I just wanted to put that point of view across.
We need a debate, so we can't all agree. That's a good thing. So thank you, Stu, for pointing that out. Please.
Sorry, do you guys? Everybody comments. Jarvis, Stu. One of the things in football that I think is important is making the runs to open space.
Yeah.
To drag players out. Do you think we see enough of that at Man United?
No.
And this is why you don't see it, man. You don't see any of that stuff. When I talk about, I want you to just get in and amongst them, drag them, open gaps to make a shot, open gaps for your teammate. That's why you have to make that run.
Yeah.
You have to cause a problem for the defender.
Yep.
There's two options here. What's he going to do? Is he going to stick? Is he going to twist? You have to destabilize the defense. If it's comfortable and the game is in front of them and they've got, back 4 and 4 ahead of them, and you're not doing any of that, you're going to be passing side to side, and it's going to end with a cross to a guy that is not a competent header of the ball.
100%.
The team is static. That type of off-the-ball run, there has to be an integral part of any team. Manchester City in their pomp, you've seen it. Sterling, those ghosting runs in behind, Silva dinks it, back post, Rodri now does it. They're just flying all over the place. It's very difficult to pick up. It's very predictable, man. Very predictable, and this is a problem at Man United as well.
It is. We are not going to drag out this Højlund conversation for too long. We are 53 minutes into the show. Rushmano comes in and says subscribe to the channel. So if you are new to Tactical Devils, please give us a sub. We are on our way to 700 subscribers. Hopefully one day we will reach 1,000 so we can get fully monetized, and that's my aim, my goal, and Stu's goal, and Boombaye's goal, and all us on the Tactical Devils goal to reach, to be a fully grown up channel, and to give you guys content. So please smash a like and subscribe if you haven't, and it could be a good idea to press that bell button, the bell,
yes,
and you will get a notification every time we go live. The only regular show we do is Mondays, and we go live straight after games with match reaction, tactical match reactions. I wanna bring up this before we wrap up the Højlund debate, and I think it's quite interesting because I saw this today. I think it was.
We'll tackle that first, old friend.
Okay, please.
Yeah, no, you go for it. You go for it.
No. I don't have my reading glasses, so.
No, it's a really good question, actually. So Wendy, she did ask. Sorry, Wendy, we've all been babbling on here. He had a decent first season, 16 goals. 8 so far this season. I always find players in their second season fall back somewhat. That's kind of true, and it does happen a lot. Players can go one or two ways. They can get complacent, and complacency in football is an absolute no-no. And what I mean by that is if you know 90% of the time you're going to be picked, even if you play at 70% of your ability for 6 weeks, you're going to continue to play at 70% of your ability. You're not going to kick on. And unfortunately, Højlund is in this situation where I think one of the lads said that he'd regressed, and I think that he has. I'd love to interview him and ask him why he's regressed, why he's not making the runs in behind the two centre halves, why his ball control is so bad. I've got 1,000,001 questions I'd love to ask him. For me, if you don't have that real intensity inside of you, as a young footballer, you'll never get it as an old player. You just, as you grow older, you can't get that intensity. You've got to want to really deep down inside you to lift it up. Højlund, Wendy, isn't a bad winner. And when you don't have a striker as a bad winner, you've got problems. You've got problems. If you're on a striker who's got 4 goals and somebody wants a penalty and he doesn't argue the toss because he's your penalty taker, you've got an issue. You need a striker to be massively, massively selfish. So much so that if Bombaye is going through on goal and he's got round the goalkeeper and he's about to push it in, you shoulder barge him off the ball so you get your goal. That's what a striker needs to be. We've had them in the past. Van Nistelrooy, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Doesn't score a goal. Don't speak to him for a week. Just go somewhere else. Be somewhere else. York and Cole, Sheringham, Solskjaer. They were angry, aggressive strikers who would do anything to put the ball in the back of the net. They will put one on from a yard and go and celebrate it as if he'd put it in from 50 yards. That's a proper striker. Intensity is the key, and he doesn't have that intensity. He doesn't have that will to win, that absolutely, I'm going to push you, the defender, the keeper, myself, and the ball. You're all going in the fucking net. But I'm still peeling away.
But to be fair, there's not many players at this team who has that
mindset. Well, here's my thing.
You are what the environment you grow up to.
Yeah, well, here's my thing though, Jarvis. There isn't a striker, probably Haaland, apart from Haaland, there isn't a striker that will do that. You don't see, Mo Salah hasn't got that intensity, but he's got a different type of game about him. Isak doesn't even have that intensity. He's got to find that fire, that angst, that anger. And like I say, be a bad winner. Be a fucking terrible loser or a terrible winner. Because when you're a terrible winner, Jarvis, you're striving to get better and better and better. When you're complacent, you're static.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think, Bombaye, but that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, but I think you're right, Stu. All these points are valid points. There's a lot going on. I mean, I think Højlund as well, from a personal perspective, he can't be enjoying the weekly repertoire. It's as if it's been one long game for Højlund at the moment. Maybe this is actually worse on the eye than he actually is. Perhaps his confidence is short. Sometimes when it's going this way for you and the goals are nowhere near it and there's not really much going on, and it's a lot of it is to do with you, you start to doubt yourself. And Højlund in that 16-goal season, there were some good things. And he missed about 9-10 games of the Premier League, so it wasn't a bad showing. But he has actually, we were discussing this on the URT, we're doing something completely new this season than we did with Ten Hag. Completely new. And the best part of what we're doing is at the back at the minute. It's pretty shored up. We're looking good. The problem that we're having is, as the season has rolled on, the progressing of the ball, be it through possession or a switch, and having some men over has improved, but that's where it ends. The final third, bad decision making, bad quality, um, lack of penetration, lack of efficiency. There's no killer instinct, as you say, Stu. There's no cutting edge up there. Sort of a little bit dull, a little bit predictable. So I think he's a casualty of this new way of playing, along with his personal form, personal issues, along with and that is basically a prelude to a lack of improvement. And again, what's going on in training, I'm not sure. You hear a lot of strikers talk about Defoe. Ian Wright used to get hold of his shirt and said, "Now you go. You're going too early or you're going too late," and let him loose. Højlund, I mean, man, I do coach. With Højlund, I want a better first touch. I want a better starting body shape. I want better running into the spaces, diagonal runs. That's what I want from you. You're too static. Too many players want ball to feet in this. It's not good, man. It's not good. We have to improve wholesale. So Højlund, there's a lot going on there. And certain strikers just live goals, breathe goals. There's not a lot of them about anymore, as Stu said. You talk about Shearer, Cole, Van, like Ruud van Nistelrooy, even Van Persie at United. I don't think we've had that. There was a great comment that I agree with. I forgot for a long time what it was to have a striker at Manchester United, guys, because we were going through the what's that guy called? That Dutch guy, the tall guy, Whittinghorst.
Weghorst.
Yeah.
Odion Igalo, a lot of stopgaps, but the one guy that I absolutely loved to watch was Cavani.
Yeah. It's old school centre half.
The movement of Cavani, the ability to find just half a yard in the box. This is an art. This is an art, man. And this is an important art, And when you have guys with that ability, we go back to you, Jarvis, trust. I play football, man, on a weekly basis, maybe twice a week. And there are certain players that have their uses, but you bypass them because you understand that as soon as you play the ball to them, there's a good chance we're going to lose possession now.
Yeah.
And the trust thing, Jarvis, it works both ways. They don't trust him. He doesn't trust that they're going to find him. Perhaps he's not going to do what in his mind he should do or he can do. And it's a cycle. And we have to break it. And the coaching and Amorim have to address that situation.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
But I think maybe the pressure is getting on Højlund. And you mentioned about the modern football, about how organized it is now, and too much structure that stifles creativity, and I think maybe Højlund wants to be more free. I think he feels very, very uptight when he plays football, and you can see it on him. He's not feeling free. But when it comes to Højlund's abilities, I saw it. I think it's James Alcott, guy who makes YouTube tactical videos. He brought this point up, and I will show it to you. So Rasmus Højlund's FB refs, when it comes to non-penalty goals, penalty goals, you see there's a lot of reds. There's not much green here in this one. Pass completion 78%. So he's one of the better passers of the top 5 leagues of the forwards. But besides that, there's nothing here to see. But when you go deeper into it and go into his stats, you see his shooting abilities. So here you see shots on target. So shots on target is in the 93rd percentile of the top 5. And when it comes to shot on goals, he averages 0.24 each game. So he's in the 94th percentile of the top 5 strikers. So he actually has some good output when he finally gets the shot away. So I think in the right system, Rasmus Højlund will thrive. But in this Amorim system, it demands so much more. It's about movement and about movement, opening space for others, and understanding when to drive with the ball and when to run diagonal runs and be a part of the game. You have two number 10s, so you have to learn to link up with the number 10s. So again, I think this is part of the problem. But
I'll take a bit more credence in it though. If you look at the players he's compared to, have a look at that list.
Tactically, yes. Here we go.
Wherever it is.
Michael Antonio, West Ham.
Yeah, not great in front of goal.
Shea Adams,
not great in front of goal. Lukaku, better in front of goal. He's Jamie Vardy. You've got to be off your fucking tree. He's nowhere near a Jamie Vardy type player.
But it's the last 365 days stat-wise.
Yeah, I know, but he's my point is, and stats are one thing, and I get it, and it does, but Jamie Vardy in his heyday, right, would score 30 goals in the Amorim system.
Yeah,
easy, because he runs in behind, he's quick, that's the type of thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I just want to say big up to Tyrone Williams and Ryan Phelan comes in with a comment here. Says social media has destroyed strikers because most great strikers aren't social. Lol. They're antagonists.
Lightning's calling out the stats.
Okay.
Okay, this was exactly what I was going to say, actually.
No, yeah, okay, but the shooting stats are shooting stats, but it only goes.
No, they're right. They're good stats.
It's how many goals you get per shot. It doesn't get many shots, but that's why. Yeah,
that's what the criticism of Højlund that we've focused on is everything that culminates up to the point we've conceded. There's a finisher there.
Yeah,
there's left foot, there's right foot, there's one-on-one finishes, but everything building up to that is the problem here.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So I think you've said it. We've alluded to it. I mean, there's a finisher there. We've seen it. But I think everything else building up to that, and being a conduit to open it up for teammates. That's where our problem is here. You used to say, Joe, I remember you, just to finish on this, I remember you talking about a guy called Kolo Muani.
Say again. Speak to the king. No, I can't do this. You go to the regular one.
Oh man,
feels better. Sorry, I'm waffling. Yeah, I just wanted to bring out this. I was planning to do a show on this, but I don't have the time, so I might as well show you this now. This is the thumbnail I made, and it's about hidden gem. We have been linked to a lot of strikers: Mateta, Osimhen, Jokenes. Now Liam Delap is the hottest name on the paper. But this guy plays at Monaco. And the thing is, he's Danish. So people will immediately try to compare him to Rasmus Højlund. But he's far from a Rasmus Højlund. His name is, let me bring it up. His name is Mika Biereth. And he's a forward. He's 6'1.5". So he's quite tall. He's 22 years of age. He's young. He's born in England, but he's a Danish father. So he's Danish, but he hasn't chosen a national team yet. He's played under 21 and stuff like that for Denmark, but he could play for England and other teams. He's currently at Monaco, and this year he played in the Austrian Bundesliga up until January, and he scored 11 goals in 16 games. And after January, he signed for Monaco, and now he's so far in 11 games scored 12 goals. So he's on fire. and he scored 2 goals in the Champions League this year. So I don't know why we haven't been linked to this guy. I think he fits the mold. He fits what we need. He's a poacher. He likes to score goals, and so far he has impressed me. I haven't really dug into his stats, but you see when it comes to non-penalty goals, he's in the 98th percentile. If you take away penalties, he's in the 97. Assist is in the 99%. So he has a really good output. And he likes just to be out on top. You see, we have a lot of interceptions. He's like to be like the guy who just waits around, ready to jump, intercept the ball, and create chances. And he likes to go directly on goal as soon as he gets the chance. I saw the Monaco game this weekend and did a scouting report by myself. And he was quite impressive in how he played. So I have one clip here, if you want to have a look. It's this guy, the blonde guy here. And see, he don't receive the ball, but he directly goes to goal and try to shoot himself. And I don't think Højlund would have done the same in a situation like this. He almost takes the ball away from his teammate and wants to score a goal by himself. So yes, other. So I will find. I have 2-3 more clips I can show you. But Stu, what's your take? Do you think we should be able to sign a player like him?
Look, that's what strikers do. They take the ball off the toe of somebody else because they want to score a goal. What I liked about was his movement, his speed. Mm-hmm. He got quite lucky there, though, in that little clip. It was a tackle off a defender, but he'd already turned and he was ready for it. So, and he makes his own look, which I do quite like. The biggest issue we've got, I was on a show a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about strikers. Well, we've got 3 categories of striker going to be looking at. We've got potential, likely, guaranteed. Delap, he's potential. He's not likely, he's potential. Gyökeres is probably likely. Osimhen, I think, is guaranteed. See, I think Osimhen's guaranteed to give you 15 goals, maybe 20. Gyökeres, we don't know. He's gone from Coventry to Sporting. He's hit this vein of form. Is he likely to score you 15 to 20? Possibly. That's where Gyökeres and Osimhen fit to me. Harry Kane fits into the guaranteed. Isak, guaranteed. Mo Salah, guaranteed. Even Diego Jota, if he plays fully, probably guaranteed. Jared Bowen, guaranteed. Ollie Watkins, likely. That's how you've got to look at your strikers. But Delap for me is potential. And I agree, we don't want potential Madhouse. But for me, right now, he's potential.
But my point is, I think we're narrowing down this striker debate. It's all about Gyökeres or Osimhen, and sometimes someone comes in.
No, I don't like this. Yeah,
so I think there's so many good strikers out there. I did research for 15 minutes. I scouted the top goal scoring lists of different leagues. I checked out their FB refs. I saw who could fit in the Ineos mold, who was young, who is ready, and this guy fits the mold. And I have one more clip here. 2 more clips too, but I just want to show you this first.
Yeah.
It's a turnover, and he starts in the middle. He's on the centre back, and see here, this is our guy. The ball is not good. It's behind him, but he still makes something happen.
Because he runs a diagonal, makes a space, doesn't he?
Yeah. And the run is quite good. I like his run. And he wants to be there. But the ball is terrible.
Yeah, the ball's terrible.
Yeah. But he makes a lot of it, and I don't think Højlund would have done good on that ball. And I have also this clip, and this is when he moves and meets the ball. He's in the central area here. You see, receives the ball. Look at that turn. On the outside, he has control on the defender and just flicks it through, dinks it through. So he's also a creator, not just a finisher.
I'd have been livid with the striker there. Why isn't he hit it first time with his left peg?
See here,
That's a wonderful
sees
little
it on
ball.
the outside, just dinks it in.
There you go. Just take it now. Bang.
Yeah.
I understand that. Do you know what I like about that? He felt the defender. So he used the defender
Yes.
as leverage.
Perfect. So you see here, he has contact with the defender.
Yeah. Yeah, he uses the defender as leverage. Yeah.
He knows where he is and goes to the opposite side.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, it's good. I like I like what I've seen of him for sure. I might have to see what Monaco are doing this weekend and have a look. But have we got a scouting network that can actually pick somebody like that out? Now, I went on record as saying, and I still would like a Premier League proven goal scorer. I think our team needs Premier League proven quality. But are you taking a risk and are you taking a gamble with this kid? Who knows? You don't know until he steps through the door at Carrington, trains with the team, and then comes out at Old Trafford. Somebody put a famous quote up from Gary Birtles. Gary Birtles was a wonderful striker, but froze. The Stretford end, he froze every time he went anywhere near the Stretford end. He just couldn't cope with it. I'm not saying this kid can't cope with it. We need people right now who can come in, who can make a difference immediately. But he looks good. I like his movement. I like what he offers. Yeah.
So if you're wondering, if you didn't quite caught what his name was, it's Mika Biereth.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's played in England. He's born in England, and he's from the Fulham Academy, under 18s. He scored a hell of a lot of goals for Fulham, and then Arsenal bought him. And when he came to Arsenal, his mentor is Ian Wright, and he took him under his wing, and he's learned him the trade of the game. So Ian Wright also still talks about him and follow him, and is his mentor when it comes to football.
Well, look.
So he has a link to Arsenal. Maybe if he comes back to the Premier League, he will go to Arsenal. But I think this is the kind of player we should go for. And I have just one more because this is not a YouTube compilation. It's my own scouting when I watch the game.
Yeah, YouTube 30 seconds. I know.
Yeah, so I'm trying to give you something special. I have seen no one has done any scouting. They're just talking about Osimhen and Jokenes and Delap. So as I said, this is not a regular channel. We try to create original content.
But we do that, don't we, lads? And lads and lasses in the Devilish Tacticas, we do that. 4 years ago, gotta have fucking hell, the Barcelona. Frankie de Jong, gotta have Frankie de Jong. Gotta have him. He's brilliant. Why you gotta have him? And then Frankie de Jong will do this. He'll do this for us. He'll do this for us. Every show, Frankie de Jong, Frankie de Jong, Frankie de Jong. Why? Because it's the buzz name. So now it's Jokeres or it's Osimhen or Delap right now.
Yeah.
And it wasn't ever Sander Berge. It wasn't Paulinia ever.
People laughed about Sander Berge when we were linked.
They did. Yeah. And so you may have just unearthed a gem that me and Bombay haven't got a clue about.
Before I play this clip, I just want to say it's not just about me thinking that this is the right man and we have to sign Mika Biereth. It's not about it. It's me telling you guys there's so many strikers out there. It's not just Osimhen and Jokenes. So if you have anyone else that you have scouted that could be a potential signing, please let me know and we can do a breakdown and do a little bit more scouting on him. So this is how his hold-up came, how to give the team a breather. So they were under pressure. It was Monaco against what's the team for the Canadian striker we've been linked to, Davis? Is it Lyon? No,
is it Lille?
Lille, yeah.
Lille,
so Monaco plays against Lille in this game. So Lille were pressing. They were 1-1. They were just hoofing the ball up, and here you see our guy holding up the ball, getting it into play, and giving the team a breather. But it's not only that; he's just continuing his run.
Nice,
he wants to score. this is what I would like to see. His cross is not good enough. It's not precise, but it doesn't matter. It's about, for me, in this attack, it's about the effort and the follow-up.
Yeah.
So you see here again, receives the ball, takes it down on his chest, keeps the ball in play, and continues his move because he knows it's about, and that tells me about intelligence. So for me, I think this is a potential guy for us to sign. And yeah, please, if you have any...
I'd blame the left-sided player there for not being quick enough. I'm going to scream at Jarvis or Bombay there. Get that, you lazy bastard! You should have been in there. You should have fucking scored that. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Bombay, you'd have been looking at us going, sorry. or you try fucking getting up there. You get up there next time.
I'd have forgiven him because it probably would have been our first game. He's thinking,
that's it. Yeah, I'll let you off. Yeah.
Did you?
Did
you know of Rasmus Højlund when he came into the picture?
Never heard about him. No, never. Not once.
Me too. So, it was an obscure guy that all of a sudden comes into the frame, and then we go and check YouTube, check what he's done for Atlanta, and then that was it. Bam. So I'm not quite sure. Maybe Manchester United, you know how it is. Manchester United are 15th. For the last 10 years, they've challenged for nothing really worthy of major merit here, major note. But still, papers need to sign their own checks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So they're going to link you with every player under the sun. It's the same every year, guys. We're going to be linked with, 50 different players. But when you were saying what you were saying, I understand it. But I thought, well, I'd never heard of Rasmus, and they plucked him out of the air.
Well, yeah, it's a good point.
So I don't know. Maybe there are players, and I think especially now with this Manchester United, the way that we're deciding to operate, we're not really going marquee. They seem to have changed the profile. If you look at Dorgu, you look at De Ligt. We got him for a cheap price. Signing young players, Ugarte, Lenny, or I go on about this a lot. It's a very young side. Rasmus, Zirkzee. Zirkzee, another one I wasn't really on my radar. Then boom, all of a sudden, bash. So with this new structure, with Jason Wilcox and whoever else is coming now, we actually have a team. And I think with the way that we've been signing, I wouldn't put it past us to pluck somebody that you didn't quite have on your radar. Problem is, it is sometimes nice to have somebody that is proven in Premiership football.
Yeah.
But if you pluck somebody out and you think this is the guy, and then the guy comes and does a Højlund, then you're going to be in a bit of trouble with the fans, because the fans are going to say, hey, who is this guy? You've gone and done another Højlund. We needed a seasoned pro. I'm not telling you we need anything. We need another striker. We definitely need another striker. That's for sure. Because if Højlund is injured, you don't have a striker, even if you want to play one. You have a false one in Zirkzee. That's it. Rashford ain't here anymore. He can't even play for you. Who are you going to put front? So this is the problem. You definitely need one more striker. I think we'll get one. Which one is above my pay grade?
Two. You need two.
Here's a one. Do we Dybala? He used to be decent, Madhouse, but certainly not on my radar. No. So, Delap, then, what type of player do you think we're going to get then? Because it's what's he got? I was looking at his stats, Madhouse, and he's on 12 goals in a relegation team. But they got some brilliant distributors of the football, haven't they? They got at least Davis, brilliant crosser of the football. They're very good at crossing the ball. But is he going to be the mobile type striker that Amorim wants? And he's 40 million value for money for a breakout in the Premier League. I'm talking about. Just a thought. Just a question.
Yeah, if he's good enough, I think he's young. He's still really raw, and if you saw here, we are linked to. As I saw this one again, Manchester United have made Liam Delap the number one striker target, according to Chris Wheeler, but he doesn't know anything, so it's guesswork, in my opinion. Not saying Chris Wheeler don't have his connections, but all of these guys are heavily linked. Suddenly, one minute we're going for Eketier, next minute we're going for Jokenes is our main target. One day later, Osimhen is our main target, and now it's the lap. So I'm not buying it. Yeah, it's guesswork. But
I think it's guesswork. But
yeah,
I mean,
it is. So if you go to his stats, he's 6'1", 22 years of age, 12 goals, 2 assists in 30 games for Ipswich. That's not bad for a relegation team.
No. Matt, that's what Madaz was talking about.
Yeah,
I did put him in the potential bracket, and I still think it is potential.
Yeah. And when you see, but if you look at his stats, non-penalty goals is in the 56th percentile. So he averages 0.39 goals a game. And when it comes to goals and assists, he averages 1.36 a game. So it's not incredible stats, but he's still young. And, Premier League is one of the toughest leagues. So
I saw him play Wolves.
Too much into it. Yeah?
Yeah, I saw him play Wolves for Christmas. He got the goal that day. He's very good for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then he just disappeared out of the game.
Okay.
That's one game I saw him live. I didn't really think his touch was great at that particular time, but I wasn't really there to look at him specifically. I was there to watch a game of football. I was more impressed with Cunha and Aït-Nouri that day in Ipswich. Won it at the very death. They beat them 2-1. So I don't know.
No, but he looks decent. But the thing is, if you look at his stats, progressive carries is in the 83 percentile, 2.2 carries a game. And this is what Amorim wants. He wants a guy who can take the ball, run with it, carry the ball into the last third. And when it comes to successful take-ons, he dribbles 1.36 average successful every game. And that's quite good. He's in the 87th percentile. So he has something really good in his game and something that Amorim wants. Carry the ball, same as Jokenes, take on, kick the ball and run past his defender. And
he's what, 6 foot? How tall is he? 6 foot what?
6'1", yes.
And he's halfway. He's 50% in his aerials.
His aerials is
55,
aerials 1,
55,
55 percentile. And again, Antonio is closest to him at West Ham when it comes to stats. Lorenzo Luca.
Højlund's in there.
Yeah, but we were linked to Lorenzo Luca.
We were linked to Luca, we were.
And Sesko is here. Højlund, Che Adams. So, yeah.
Sesko gets everywhere, doesn't he?
But I want to go deeper into his stats. I want to look at his shooting stats. So shots on target, 79 percentile. He's a 44.8% accuracy on the shots on target. So his shooting stats are not, he's still raw, as you can see. Passing, he's not a passer. Everything is red. But he's one pass type that he likes. That's through balls.
The question at the hierarchy of Old Trafford is, does he guarantee you 15 to 20 goals a season? That's what we need. I don't know. What do you think, Bobby?
I think, man, that there's just expanding the picture in my mind a little bit. For example, Delap, he is raw. He has a lot of the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
attributes and qualities in my mind that Højlund has. I just feel Højlund has lost. I really do. I just think Rasmus Højlund has lost the sense of who he is, what he's supposed to be as a player, as an individual, and within the framework of what we require within a system that has its deficiencies, as people rightly said. Um, and I think Rasmus Højlund can carry the ball. He's very, very quick. He's strong. He can finish. The touch is shit. The touch has to be better. Aerial has to be better. Understanding himself in the context of the bigger picture, depending on where we are on the pitch and making the right runs, has got to be better. The IQ. This IQ thing, brain, and you can teach people. You can teach some of that. And then if it starts to yield results, it breeds confidence. It's a process. Right now, I think Rasmus Højlund, we're seeing the very worst version of Rasmus Højlund since he's been at the club. Seldom are we discussing any good points of Rasmus in recent months. Whereas previously, he got injured and he's just on a 3-4 goal streak. He did well. We're not really doing that anymore. I think he's really, really at the bottom of the barrel. But a lot of the physical attributes, the type of things that I would like Rasmus to be able to do, he can do them. But we are seeing somebody, I think, that is lost.
Yeah.
In terms of strikers, I don't see many strikers around. I think that we're going into a new phase of football now. There's a new breed of strikers. I'd like to give you one. I saw your question, Madhouse. Appreciate the vote of confidence. I'd like to think I know a good player when I see one, but I really have not watched too much more than Manchester United in terms of football this season. So I can't really tell you. Jarvis
Harry
seems to
Kane.
venture out.
Harry Kane.
But man,
Yeah.
Harry Kane, I fell in love with Harry Kane the moment I saw him.
Yeah.
And that's a guy that had to be a Man United player. It was kind of like a Rooney job. When's he coming? It's a foregone conclusion, and it just never happened. Just something superb striker. Him and Lewandowski now is probably the tail end of it now. Everybody else is finished. After them, you're probably going into a new phase. Haaland and Mbappe lead the pack.
Yeah.
Now you're starting to get the young boy Mika Biereth. You've got
Biereth, I think. Biereth.
Biereth, Gyökeres, and a lot of the guys that are coming up, making a name for themselves and getting our attention, and then you YouTube it. But I ask myself, they're coming to play. The lap would be coming to play for Manchester United.
Yeah.
In this system, with this service, with Garnacho, with Zirkzee, with whoever's going to play on the right. Ipswich maybe do think, they're not okay. They're obviously not quite as good as us. We're not miles away from them. But maybe Delap's able to do what Delap wants to do. Now you go back to touch on a little bit of what Stu said. Maybe there's a little bit of freedom to play. There's lots of facets to this that you can look at. Rasmus Højlund is not completely bereft of anything. There is physical attributes. There is some quality there that I, acknowledge. But I think what I'm watching at the moment is a guy that's completely lost. And that situation for a young boy leading the line at Manchester United is not easy. And you, Jarvis, are right. There is a lot of pressure and he's feeling it. And maybe the 72 million price tag bears the weight too. They have to
100%.
arrest that. They have to arrest that situation. They have to help him. He's only 22. Sometimes, what the hell is 22? He's only played a season at Atalanta. That's the only thing worthy of note, really. So, we need another striker, if only for body. I hope we get. You say two. If we get two, great. We definitely need at least one. Who that one is going to be, I don't know, man.
Yeah, but we need. I think we need two because I don't trust. I don't trust Højlund one bit. So the thing is, if the main striker gets injured or need a rest,
You
We're
ready
back
to
to
bin him?
Højlund.
You ready to bin him?
Yeah, 100%. I think we've seen enough. Second season, and he's not performing. So for me, I think it's bye bye. I'm not emotionally attached to keeping Højlund just for the sake of it. But
I
the
think
problem
he
is,
needs his career
problem is the
development.
money. Problem is the money. We will never recuperate
Oh, never,
one bit.
never.
So we have to sell him for about maybe 50 million just to go even.
Do you
We
think
have
you'd
no
get
chance.
Do you think you'd get 50 for him now?
No, we have no chance getting 50 for him. So that's the
No
problem.
chance. No, he's 35.
Yeah.
So we'll get for Højlund. We'll loan him out. I think
So
he
it's-
needs to for his career, personally.
Yeah. Guys, I put this out there. Q&A
Yes,
at the end.
Q&A.
So we are 1 hour 35. So let's have time for the Q&A. So guys, think of good questions, and I will just bring one last subject before we go to the Q&A. It will be a short one, but it's just about yesterday's game, and we saw Ugarte and Rúben Diaz had a little bit of a bust up. So I would like to get your opinion on it. So here you see Ugarte gets a free kick and touch the ball, and there Rúben Diaz comes in and just shithousery at his best. But he didn't receive a yellow card. So what's your take on this? What should the referee do in a situation like this? Because you see, he's so far after he touched the ball. The whistle was blown like 2 seconds before this.
2 seconds before he kicks the ball away.
Well, it feels like it. So, Stu, what's your initial take?
Well, ultimately, it's a red card. Because what it is, and I love it, by the way. I quite like what Diaz does, but it's premeditated. It's there you go. I'm just going to have you. So ultimately, it's a red card by letter of the law.
Stu, I think the sound is acting up. There's something entirely wrong with the sound. Kumbaye, am I right, or is it here?
There's some feedback, white noise a little bit.
Okay.
I can hear Stu okay though.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
then it's me. Give me 2
it's
seconds.
you. Yeah, the interesting thing is, it is because he knows what he's doing. He's made no attempt because he's going in slowly. He stops his run a bit. He's not going in at full pace, and he then kicks. It's a kind of a red card really because it's completely premeditated. I reckon 12 months behind Madhouse.
You're taking the piss.
Having said that, though, let me put my my real take on it. I loved it because that's exactly what I would do.
I like it, Stu.
I
like it.
And I've made, I've done it all my life. I just, Diaz, I hate him because he's like me. I would hate to play against me because I'm an absolute tosser when I play football. I'm just horrible. I'm a horrible person when I play football. And that's what Diaz is. He's he's a Ramos type guy. He's horrible. We're just horrible people. We're Pepes. We're Pepes of the world. We're vile, disgusting footballers.
Jeez.
But I like stuff like that. But actually, it's if you play it again, it's so premeditated because he slows down. That's the part I like the best, the most.
Okay, let's have another look.
Watch. He goes in, once he comes in, and he just slows down. There you go. I'll just slow down, stick my leg out, have that. I just love that. That's just ace. So ultimately, it can't be. It is actually. I mean, it's just get him off, send him off. I would have just walked off as well. I would have walked off away from the referee, whistling away.
Yeah, but the question is, what would have happened if this was a Man United player? Let's say Casemiro. I don't think he would have gotten away with it.
we don't have the finesse to get away with the nonchalance that was that tackle.
No,
That's a Bombay A tackle when he's tired. I'm tired.
Oh.
I'm bothered. I'm gonna kick you. I'm only joking, Bombay A. I'm joking.
No, it probably is, man.
It's a pity Nuruddin's not on. We could have asked him. He'd have told us.
Well, I'd have just laughed at that, you know. I just laughed at that. What'd you do with that? I don't know.
It's one of those.
That was my final topic of the evening. We could sit here and talk a little bit more about
I'm
other
enjoying it.
signings and stuff like that, but I'm not. Let's just go to the Q&A, and we have a question coming in from Toxic. First time watching the stream. Big up, Toxic. Thank you for coming in. Let us play the Q&A intro, and Stu will take the wheel.
Do you want me to take it again?
Yes, as always.
As always. Stu is at the wheel. Haha! Yes, I was doing a bit of bopping. Doing a bit of bopping. First and foremost, 138.
Feel good tune.
You know, it is a feel good tune. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, but it's not like Tears for Fears, you know. Obviously,
I love Tears for Fears. They're brilliant.
Yeah, I know, but they are not. Yes. It's not Tears for Fears. It's not as good.
It's not as good as Tears for Fears. No, you're absolutely right.
Oh, yeah.
But it is getting there. Guys, 138 people are watching. Please, if you're watching on X, come across to YouTube. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications bell because, as Jarvis said right at the very beginning of the stream, we are in YouTube jail. We don't know why. We don't know what we've done.
55 likes so far.
Yeah, we seem to be in YouTube jail for some reason. So if you can help us out and come and do a jail break for myself and Jarvis and Bombay 8, we would be very grateful. But I hope you've enjoyed the stream so far. I thoroughly enjoyed it, actually. It's been great to talk about football in general, which is quite nice, which I like doing. So please get your questions in for the Q&A. We will be, just so you know, guys, we will be having Keith back on in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Again, he apologised. And it was mine and Jarvis's fault about the questions, really. So we need to hold our hands up. We should have got the questions in earlier. So I think what we're going to do with Keith next time is start off with a Q&A. Yes. So if you can think of your questions, get them in. So on behalf of the Devilish Tacticos, myself, Jarvis and Bombay, welcome, Toxic, for your first stream. So thank you, brother. Bombay, we'll go straight to you. What are your thoughts on Garnacho?
In the current squad, he's an important outlet because he's a willing runner. So when we're deep, we seem to be able to hit the channel and he goes there. The things I'd say I like about Garnacho, as bad as it gets, as much shit as he gets, and rightly so, he will keep plugging away. He's not easily deterred, that guy. But the problem is, we saw a few weeks past, I felt, okay, maybe the pennies dropped, we turned a corner. He's starting to mature a little bit, finding the passes, doing the right things, instead of getting his head down and being a little bit erratic and wasteful. Then he reverts back to type. He's 21 or 22. I'm not sure how old he is now. Early 20s. Do I see a super player, somebody being able to, really make a difference, carrying, because the position he's given is, is an important one, and he sees a lot of the ball for us. So it all depends on what we're going to do with the money. I'm not at this very moment. If we need to move forward, then I wouldn't be totally aggrieved if we cut ties. But yeah, we're definitely low on that type of player. Rashford won't be here. Sancho, I don't see anything there, to be honest, at all. And Anthony, the one that my man is Ahmad. He's I love the kid, but Garnacho as well is important. And people sometimes, why is he starting? You're thin on the ground, man. You are thin on the ground, and there are many games where you'll see the ball is switched out. He's the one. He's the one that sets off on a run into that space. His job is to look after that ball and give us time to join him. His job is to get his head up. I don't mind a step over, cut inside, have a shot. I'm not saying stop, but you've got to start doing the right things in these in these moments, and he's not. And there's always this feeling that is he want away? Is he staying? Is he want away? So with Garnacho, if we were to sell him, it's not the worst thing in the world that could happen. But then I we have to wait and see what we're going to get instead, because we discussed on URT, if you look against City, got into the last third a lot, was Dorgu on the ball. Also, young lad from Lecce. If the fullbacks in this system are going to be charged with assists and goals and exploiting those opportunities, then he's got work to do also. So we need something.
Yep, great answer, Bombardier. Toxic. I hope that's answered your question. Got a nice one here for Jarvis. He's going to love this one. This is from our good old mate. Well, I say our good old mate Trev, but he stitched me up again. With a further question down the line.
Before we go to that, guys, girls, if you have any questions, give us more questions, and anything goes. Ask about old-time favorite players, World Cups, music, what Bombardier ate for dinner. Anything goes.
Anything goes.
Yes, it's a Q&A.
Yes. So Trev says, has Amorim been the Cheeto experiment, as he cannot use him in the Europa League and only the league? Surely this is his time now to develop for a proper run next season. Amorim is not forward thinking here. Good question. Interesting question.
Yeah. I don't know. He had a cameo coming on. Was it against the game before Forest? Or was it the Forest game he came on and he didn't play well? So I don't know what happened. No, but maybe he's lost his form, and or maybe just Amorim sensed that he needs to take him out of the game a little bit, because it's about developing him slowly. It's baby steps in the beginning, especially. I think it's good enough, and I think we should use this opportunity now, because I think the league is games now without pressure. So for me, I think Amorim should use this as an opportunity to play Cheeto, and I would really like to see him. I love seeing young talents coming up and succeeding, and I think he will get a little bit of freedom from the fans. He can put in a stinker now and then, but it doesn't matter. I think we just want to see what he's good for, and we won't judge him so far this season, but you never know with this fan base. But maybe Amorim is protecting him. I don't know what you guys think.
Look, I like him. There's a lot of promise in there, but the difference between under 18s and Premier League is stark contrast. There's only a minute amount of players at that age that could come into first team football and thrive. Rooney being one, Messi was another, Ronaldo was one. But it took him time. Don't forget Ronaldo. You meet Yamal at the moment. There are players out there, but they are very, very special players, and they don't come along. I think Cheeto will be a brilliant striker in the next 2 to 3 years, and I think that's where you'll see him flourish. Trev, hope that answers your question. A really good one. Madhouse has come in for a question. Bombardier, should we have kept McTominay?
Yes, I think so. I've always liked him. I think we keep talking about we need somebody that can drive in this system, progress. McTominay's one of his qualities is that, there are deficiencies, but tough guy. You always think about, all right, who am I going to put in the other six? Talk about Collier. Should we put Casemiro or Nagate? I think McTominay, late runs, joins the attack on the periphery of the box, can head the ball, can drive, is a tough boy. And you never hear any nonsense with McTominay. He loves the club, he's grown up at the club, and that's important. There's no petulance at all. He will give you what he's got to give every game. So I'd have really liked him around, especially in light of the long-term injuries that we've had. And it's not a surprise to me that Antonio Conte comes for a player like that.
Yeah.
And I watched Napoli. I'm not telling you Napoli are free-flowing, beautiful, but Scott McTominay is doing very well out there. And, you know, considering what Antonio picked up in Napoli, 3 managers in 1 year, and he's got them to challenge him for a title against Inter that are well ahead in their project. McTominay's Scott McTominay is a very important part of that puzzle, and I'd like to have a player like that at this moment to complement whoever plays as that 6 and give him a little bit of freedom instead of just sitting all the time. Okay, you get it, progress it, show us what you can do, go forward. You've seen he can score, good shot, good header. So yeah, I'd have liked to have kept him. I was a bit sad that he went.
Yeah, no, great question. Thank you for that, Madhouse. I know you've come up with another couple of questions, which we'll get to. Yeah, I'll take this one from Sydney because I'm famously on record, Sydney, saying I felt it would take up to 8 years for Manchester United to be title winners. I'm going to call winning the Premier League a major trophy. I think we've got it in the bank to win a Carabao Cup. Maybe an FA Cup, which again I call you know a major trophy purely because it's historic for me and my age. But I think we are a good 8 years away from getting anywhere near the Holy Grail, which for us, which is going to be the Premier League. In which time we could be behind the scum in terms of Premier League titles because they're going to bag their 20th this season, and then they could quite easily kick on. So I think it's going to be wild, Sydney. Jarvis, one for you.
Yes.
Emmanuel Adori, what's your opinion on Brian Zaragoza? We are linked to him and it looks serious. Do you know much about Zaragoza? If you don't, we'll
Brian Zaragoza.
Yes.
Brian Zaragoza. Where does he play?
I don't know.
Zaragoza plays in Spain. Now, I have to be honest, I don't know who
Okay.
is.
All right. Emmanuel, let's do some homework on that, please.
That's
probably myself and Jarvis will have a look at him. Yeah. Well. So while you're doing that, Jarvis, no, we can't. Jarvis, I can't believe you paid him through Revolut as well. How much did you give him for that? What an absolute disgrace! Disgrace. Dear me.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I have to pay, and you know, it wasn't cheap. You know,
How much did you pay? I was going to say, yeah, like you know,
we are talking double digits, a tenner.
Just double digits? Not even crikey. Jeez, I thought I made 4 figures at least. Oh man, I'm disappointed. Guys, actually, Keith messaged me last night. Asking how what you guys thought of the show, and I said you guys are just hanging on every word, and he's really excited to come back. He has sent me an article about something he's just written in one of the papers, which I'll share with Jarvis, and we might be able to get some extracts of that. But we've got some great plans with Keith. Actually, he doesn't know about these plans yet, but we do have. Me and Jarvis have been talking. We've got some great plans. And it's going to be absolutely brilliant. But
and by the way, sorry for rudely interrupt you every time. You know, I do this. I'm sorry.
Well, I know.
I don't have the manners as an Englishman, but you know, it's I'm just a Norwegian.
We're used to it, Jarvis. We're used to
it. But the thing is, Keith, for the new guys who's tuned in, never heard about him. It's Keith Hackett, the former boss of the PGMOL, the Referee Association in England. He's been a regular guest on our channel, so I just wanted to give you some context when we talk about Keith. I see we have, for example, a new girl tuning in, Ivana. Good evening, guys. This channel popped up when I was looking for another one, and perfect new arrival. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel.
Yes,
if you
please.
like
Pop a question in as well.
Yes.
If you would like. Yes, Keith is. We're very fortunate that Keith has aligned his flag to us. So, but that's because he interacts really well with you guys, and he's very, very well received. So thanks for that. So I hope that answers your question, Chav. I love this one by Madhouse. We'll all answer this ball. So, Madhouse, my favourite ever football is the Tango.
Oh, I was just about to say that.
It's my favourite ever football, and I fell in love with that and the Argentinian home kit in 1978 as my first experience of a World Cup, and I absolutely loved everything about that. So my modern design would be a modern take on the Tango because I just love that football. The only other ball that comes close to it was a Sondico, which Manchester United have used in the past, and it was white, but it had like a red central stripe back in the late 70s, very early 80s maybe, but definitely back in the late 70s. And those were the two balls that mesmerised me. So, Madhouse, I would do a update version of the Adidas Tango. Bombay, what would you do?
I would just make the Tango, the original Tango ball, mandatory for every single player on earth that plays football. End of story. This ball I've played with in my life.
Just the greatest football ever, isn't it?
I swear, it's just an extension of your foot. The feeling when you strike that ball is just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, beautiful ball.
Yes. Yeah. I absolutely Genghis Khan, Stu played with medicine balls. I am old. I'm not that old, but I am old. I'm absolutely brilliant. Tyrone loved the Tango as well. Absolutely. Yeah. Just one for you, Jarvis. Don't I'm
Don't I get a chance to answer that last question?
Yes, you'll get a chance to answer that in a minute. You've got to answer the football question first.
Okay. But I just want to say, when it comes to football, when I was growing up, this was the type of football I used to play with.
Yeah,
you go after school, you weren't home, you didn't have a ball, so you found the ball out in the forest at the outskirts of the football field. Probably no air in it, but you could play for hours and hours. That was my childhood. So this is my favorite type of ball.
So that's what you would redesign, a disheveled, distressed look on a new ball. That would be quite cool, actually.
Jarvis is going to introduce an environmental ball made of old socks.
Yeah, brilliant.
Didn't you guys do the same when you were growing up?
Well, yes, because that particular football, if you look at the hexagons on it, that would have been the black and the white hexagons, because that's all you used to have back in the 70s before the Tango came about. That's why the Tango was the most sought after football ever, because it was different. And that's how it used to be after about 4 goes,
Mate, we used to go to the local shop, and I think we'd just put our few pennies together and we'd buy a flyaway. It was like a beach. You just let it
fly away. Yeah.
You don't want to be in there. It just moves all over the pitch. But anything just to keep playing, just to keep the game going.
And that's what it was, wasn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Before we go to the Zaragoza question, then, Dave wants to know, Jarvis, did you run Patrick Schick's stats this season by me? He did actually show me Patrick Schick's stats. Crikey, that is a tongue twister.
Hit it 10 times in a row as fast as you can.
No. And I was really surprised at his level of performances this season. So I did ask Jarvis to do that, Dave, and I was really, really surprised. I didn't realise he got those scoring stats this season. So I apologise.
Patrick Schick.
Yes.
It's Leverkusen, I think he plays. He's quite done really good.
He's done well. Yes,
17 goals in 25 games so far this season.
Yes, you did show me. Yeah.
So let's just give you a quick look. 6'1", 20. Oh, well, he's too old for us. 29 years of age. Czech Republic. 17 goals in 25 and 1 in the Champions League. So yeah,
good stats. Good stats.
Good stats. Good player.
Jarvis, Mr. Zaragoza.
Yes, I couldn't find anything. I think I wrote his name wrong. Let's try again. Ryan Zza.
Sorry about this, Emmanuel. It does happen sometimes.
Okay, here we have Ryan Zaragoza. He's a Spanish footballer. Plays for Osasuna. 21 matches, 1 goal, 5 assists. He plays. Where does he play? He plays in Bayern.
Shells by the seashore. Oh, brilliant. You're right, Trev. You're right. Tyrone, while you're talking about that, Jubilani, the worst ball ever. He's absolutely right. Terrible, the Jubilani. Terrible.
But you know why?
It was manufactured the most spherical football ever.
Yes.
It was, yes, terrible. Tyrone
and the air couldn't grab it.
Yes,
so
that's right.
Shot, the air, it's just like found its own way.
I thought it was a poor excuse for the goalkeepers, personally. But, while you're doing that, then Jarvis, we've got only a couple of questions left, but we do have 2 very good questions. And I'm going to leave Travis till the end, but I am going to put this one on, and it's quite controversial, guys. But it is a genuine football question. But please forget and don't judge us on the manager. But I think it's a great question. Why did the world of football or football world forget Bob Paisley's achievements when lauding to Alex as the greatest British manager of all time? It's a massively good question, Sydney, I have to say.
I think Bob Paisley is a very intelligent manager. He didn't change much from Bill Shankly. He said to them when Bill Shankly finished, "I'm not here to replace Shanks. We're going to do what we've been doing." And he made a few tweaks, and he was smart. Some managers want to build it in their own image for the sake of doing so, but he realized no. And you've got to give that credit. That's a guy that didn't let the ego get in the way, and he was hugely successful. But he took over a team that was the best.
Oh, didn't he just?
The best.
Yeah.
Alex Ferguson came in and rebuilt and made a dynasty from nothing. So we were a cup team. Been a long time. I can't remember how long it had been since we'd won a league. And you see the legacy that he left after 23 years. So the longevity, 14 Premier Leagues, 2 Champions Leagues. I mean, I think we got to 2 finals in 3 years, lost to Barcelona twice. Can you imagine if it was somebody else? How many teams did we build? The academy is world famous now. So Alex Ferguson made Man United really, he put it back on the map in its rightful place. I think that's what makes him, that's what clinches it for Alex Ferguson.
I like that analogy, Bombier, because I made a similar analogy to Arnie Slot, didn't I, Jarvis? People were lauding Arnie Slot, and I said, hold on, he's coming to a ready-made winning machine, which Liverpool were. And I think you're absolutely right about Bob Paisley. When you look at his players at his disposal, Ray Clements, the goalkeeper, Alan Kennedy, Ray Kennedy, Kenny Dalglish, Graham Souness, Alan Hansen, Phil Thompson. These were seasoned professionals who knew how to, Steve Highway, knew how to play the game, and stalwarts. But you're right, Bob Paisley did the simple things. But I think it's a really good question because he should be rightly lauded for what he achieved.
Yeah, definitely.
That particular thing. I love that question, Sydney. Jarvis, got anything to add?
No, I think you summed it up brilliantly. It's what he did. Yeah, you can't compare it to what happened after Klopp, but unfortunately, you can't say the same thing when it comes to David Moyes. he changed up too much when he stepped into the role as Man United manager. He brought in his own training. He changed out all the staff, and I think he made a big mistake. He wanted to change Man United, but he should just have tried to kept it going.
It's brilliant, actually, because to be fair, there's been some the Devilish Tacticos have answered it as well, which I love. It was a really good question. I like questions like that because you've got to really think about your answer, haven't you?
Yeah, I think Genghis Khan here really puts the icing on the cake. You know, Aberdeen, what they achieved in the grand scheme of things in European football, and to break the old firm, that's what puts a manager like Alex Ferguson in contention for the United job.
Yeah,
that was a hell of an achievement as well.
Yeah, of course, Maddox talks about the original super sub. The original Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was David Fairclough.
Fairclough.
Yeah, he was a carrot top, redhead, bless him. Bright red hair, wasn't he, Bombaye? Milk skin. So yeah, what I didn't realise though, and a lot of kudos to Sydney. He's been with us the whole show. He's actually a Liverpool fan. So thank you very much, Sydney, for staying with us. And
we are not exclusively a Man United channel just for Man United fans. We have open arms for everyone. You know, it's all about respect and football opinions. So yeah,
another great player, Tommy Smith. Now he was fucking hard. He was a hard bastard. He was. He really was. Before, do you want to do anything on Brian Zaragoza, or do you want to go to Trev's question?
Well, I found him on FB Refs, but I have to look more into it. I can just bring you the easy stats. He's right-footed forward, attacking midfielder, 23 years of age. What I can see, he scored 1 goal, 5 assists so far this season. But when you look at his stats, I would say his attributes are progressive carries. He likes to run with the ball. He's on 5.18 average a game. So it's almost Garnacho level. He's on 6 something. And when it comes to dribbles, he's on 2.65 average a game. So he's also high up in the high 80 percentile and compared to the top 5 European leagues, and 77 percentile when it comes to assists. And, it's not too bad because Osasuna is not the biggest team in Spain. So I think it's quite good. It looks like a prospect, yes. But I have to look more into it. Yeah.
Apart from the moustache and that hairstyle.
No, I love the moustache. Looks.
Well, no. Well, yeah. Always.
Tash is coming back, man.
It's coming back. I see, Jarvis. I did get rid of mine. Mine was annoying me.
And just to compare him to players, Moses Simons from Nantes, I haven't heard about him. Just not. The only one I can see is Leon Bailey
and Morgan Rogers.
Yeah.
Adama.
You have some
Adama's in there. Yeah, Adama Traore. Really? Wow. That's interesting.
Bailey, Traore, Ilanga, Rogers. Yeah.
Interesting. Quick Trev says, can I get you a Vuvuzela for Jarvis jingles? And we've got to get him something. I was gonna ask for a GoFundMe page so we could get Jarvis something to you got a new one. You got a new one from well, he's betting. Is that from Philip's birthday party? Nice. Final question.
I have the good golden one.
The one that doesn't work. Yeah, it's embarrassing, isn't it? We'll send you some over. Trev's come up with an absolute perler of a question. I love questions like this as well. And in the Devilish Tacticos, if you can answer it as well, I'd love to know who you guys would. Jarvis got that in a lucky bag. He did indeed. Let's have a quick look. This is a brilliant question. And actually, I don't think it's a question you could automatically answer without some thoughts, some real thoughts.
Umbaye, go first, please.
Go with any player from anywhere United.
Yeah.
Anywhere. I think he's talking anywhere. Yeah.
Zinedine Zidane.
Question. Oh,
Yeah. Do you know who mine would be? Franco Baresi.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Franco Baresi. Yeah.
I'd love to just be in a session with Franco Baresi. I'd be like, wow.
Yeah.
He's probably the best centre back in.
I thought he was unbelievable. I thought he was amazing. The only one that would come close is your fave, Job, and that would be old Paolo Maldini.
Yeah, Pablo Maldini. No,
Yeah,
but
can't do that, yeah.
how about Diego Armando Maradona?
Oh, and I knew who that was going to be for you.
You know, for me, it was easy. You know, Maradona. One session, coaching session with him. Imagine.
So that's worldwide. Manchester United, then, from any era, who would you want from Manchester United?
Do you know? I'm just looking at this. I just want to spend a day with the guy and just watch what he does. Wayne Rooney.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
Waza. Yeah.
Charles?
I would actually like to I know I'm Norwegian, but I would like to be with Ole for one day, just to talk to him about how it was to be a player and to understand a little bit more about how it was to be a manager, because I think Ole loves the club that much that he won't say publicly what really happened.
Yeah.
Maybe it will come in a book in 10 years. Maybe we will know what went on behind the scenes, but I would really like to know what happened when he was the manager, because I think he was unfairly judged because the way he appears, his looks is not English. I think a lot of things happen. I think people didn't respect him as much as they should have. I think he's a better manager, and now he's doing good in Turkey. And yeah, I would love to know more about what happened. So yeah, Ole for me.
There's a podcast where Ole talks about a lot of this stuff. You know the one, Stu, where Gary Neville and Keane are there. And,
overlap.
Give that a blast. But I met Ole when I was 17, and you could just be like one of your mates, just laughy, jokey, down to earth human being, very approachable, really, really nice person. Him, Brian McClare, Juan Mata, top quality. Stam, I didn't have. He just looked like he didn't want to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't bother, man.
There's two for me, guys, and there is method to my madness on this, and that is Ruud van Nistelrooy, and Eric Cantona, and not for the reasons that you think, but more for the reasons of learning how to defend against the greatest strikers on the planet, learning about movement, learning about when to use your turn of pace, when not to use your turn of pace, when to shoot, when not to shoot, and how they use the defender as a shield to strike. And that's what I would love to learn from, in my opinion, two of the best strikers in world.
There is method to that madness. That works well.
That's why I would have gone for those. Tyrone has flipped in. Tyrone, if you're still watching, we are going to... that's a brilliant question, Trev, by the way. I've got to say, you would be quite good with 10 questions to ask your hero. Because there are some really good questions, because it makes you think. And I do like stuff like that. Final question of the night, guys, is from Tyrone. So, Tyrone, I do hope you're listening. Question for the panel, this is.
Yes.
You're Rúben Amorim and Ineos. And Ineos are allowing you to sign a striker, a goalkeeper, 2 wide players, and a central midfielder. Who are we all choosing? So I think what we'll do, we'll go Jarvis with the 2 wide players, I'll go goalkeeper
Right,
and
right.
go striker and midfield. Bumba, yeah, you can do striker and midfield. I'll do goalkeeper.
Are we talking wing backs or number 10s when you
He's just got two
when you
wide
name
players.
strikers?
Yeah, he's just said
Okay,
wide players.
I'll go with one wing back and one number 10 then.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, who want to go first?
Go on, Jav. Let's get it. Let's hear it.
Okay, so when it comes to the number 10, it's just one player that I really want and I think will be brilliant, and that's Cunha. I know we all talked about it before, but Cunha, I think Cunha is the one. I think we should try everything we can to sign him because I think he will fit this Amorim system perfectly. But if we can't get Cunha, I will go for the guy at Sporting. What's his name again?
You're Humanhead. No, Lumens. No, him. Humanhead.
No. That the guy that you showed me, the Scandinavian guy.
Yes. No. He's a DM. He's a DM. But the guy who the number 10. Well, you all know who I'm talking about. The guy we were linked to.
Hold on. Tyrone's come in. He meant replacements for Rashford and Sancho. Thanks, Tyrone.
Okay, so 2 number 10s then. Yeah, okay. So the other one would be, I would choose those 2. The guy at Sporting that I can't know his name right now.
Him at Sporting. Him. He'll do.
Thanks for narrowing it down,
man.
You'll go. You'll do. You over there. I'm sure Jarvis said you. Come on, we'll take you.
Trincao.
Look, Tyrone helped you out, and so's Emmanuel. They both helped you there. Come on. I'll tell you what, he's had to be bailed out here, any Bombaye. Disgrace.
Thank you.
Disgrace.
It's getting late, my brain's not working anymore.
Yeah. I'll go next then, Bombaye, because I've only got the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be consistent. Sells from Forest.
His distribution is terrible, by the way, Stu. It's terrible.
What's that?
His distribution.
Yes, I know, but he's a goalkeeper. For me, look, I know all this, by the way. I want him to save. And he's good at that. He can save. I understand about the distribution.
Traumatized from Banana.
Yeah, but he can save. So, sells for me.
Yeah, no,
I like it.
Obviously.
You can't say. You can't talk. Get out. Go. Get off. Get off. You're in jail. Jan Black would be. Hey, God, don't upset him.
Come back.
Oh, here he comes. Oh,
you can be the king for a day.
What you need, what we should do is try and get an overlay where we can have some jail bars that we can put across each one of us. So if we've done
like never foul, like Cass.
Never foul. Kaz is going to do us for copyright on that one. Sorry, Kaz. Bombay, the final two. Yeah, the final two. Bombay, who would you?
So I'm choosing a midfielder and a striker.
Yes, you've got the tough one.
So the midfielder is pretty straightforward. I go with Vitinha from PSG.
He's popular. He's very popular.
Stu Jarvis mentioned him to me. And I watched him for the first time ever, the second half of the first leg against Liverpool. And he caught my eye a bit, but I really enjoyed the half. So I tuned in for the second leg. I was blown away.
Yes, he was out of this world. Jarvis said to me about Vitinha, and I was a little bit like you. Yeah, he's a fantastic player. We can't afford him, can we?
No, can't afford him. And Jarvis showed me another player at Sporting that I've had a good look at. I really like him. I really like him.
Morten Hjulmand. Yeah.
The reason I like Morten Hjulmand, Jarvis, is because Vitinha is a bit more steady. But I'd have him there, control and stuff. But Hjulmand can score goals. He gets into the last third. Yeah, this way you can allow Igate to do what he does, and he's complemented by somebody that can join us and support us. So, so we'll go with Vitinha, Hjulmand in brackets, and the striker would be Isaac from Newcastle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can live with all of those.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
What kind of budget are we talking about? 500 millions or
Oh God, Vitinha! What would Vitinha be by himself? Who knows?
We're talking dreams.
We're talking dreams, gents. There've been some brilliant questions that I've got to say. I mean, I can't really pick a favourite because I thought they were all excellent questions. Keep them coming in. I love the football one by Madhouse. That was brilliant. And I was really chuffed that we all kind of went for my favourite ball of all time, and that's the old Tango. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And you know, one player or a player that you would love to do a training session with as well. I thought that was an excellent question. I like the Zaragoza one because none of us knew anything about him. And Manuel, so it was brilliant. I love Sydney's question as well with regards to Bob Paisley, and I think you're right. I think Bob Paisley at the time was a pioneer because he didn't change anything. If you consider managers at that particular time did come in and they changed everything. And Jarvis's point about David Moyes was spot on. You're on point with that, you know. So absolutely superb questions. So thank you very much, Dave. I apologise about Patrick Schick. No, I know. So I appreciate that. And Tyrone, again, nice bit of, if you had a limitless budget, would you buy? It's quite good. There are other goalkeepers out there that are probably better than Sells. I just think Sells is a better fit for us. But Jarvis won't have it, and he's all black. And that's it. Is that anything? No more.
Yeah.
Jarvis, I will hand it to you. Thank you ever so much for everyone that's tuned in tonight. Jarvis, my old mate.
It's been a brilliant show, guys. I'm really enjoyed it. 2 hours 21 minutes. We have been sitting here waffling.
Wow.
I had nothing when we went into this show other than an idea about Højlund. So I hope you enjoyed the show. It's been freestyle from me, Stu, and Boombaye. But it's not because of us three. It's because of you guys. Tyrone, Trevor, Genghis Khan, Stephanie always coming in, keeping the count of the likes. I think we are over 60 likes. That's fantastic. It's all because of you guys. Rich popped by, Red Devil United,
Raymond, Danny, Nas.
Oh, it's been loads, absolutely loads.
Danny B,
Sydney's got some. Yeah. So
guys,
the legend.
he became a member. He became a member. So guys, you can become a member of the channel. £99 if you can afford it, please do. No worries.
Stephanie Griffiths, Trev, everyone's into it. It's been a great show. Thank you all for
yes. And Toxic, first time watching.
Toxic. Yeah. And Sydney as well, Liverpool fan.
Yeah, Sydney.
Great to have Sydney on.
So it's been a great show, and if you all can do us a favor, go in the non-live section after the show, leave a comment. It helps out the algorithms, and you can put in your take on the Højlund situation. Do you think it's because he's? Do you think it's because the players don't trust him, or is it other reasons why Højlund can't score goals and get going at Man United? So, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Boombaye. Thank you, Stu Woolley. So it's been a great show, and we will be back. I would say Thursday after the Europa League game against Lyon. Yes.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have time to do a preview.
No, with the tactical match reaction. But you will probably see me and Boombaye on United Real Therapy tomorrow night. So it's been a brilliant show. So guys,
are you on tomorrow night? Are you?
Yes, we are. Hopefully,
I might see if I can make an appearance. Yes, drop by. I'd love to. I know Norridon's always said I could go on, but you know, I get a bit overawed when I'm on with Boombaye and Jarvis. Guys, I go into my shell a lot when I'm with these two legends. So,
what kind of centre back are you? Into my shell.
Fucking take it. I'll go to the fucking opposition half. I'll take it. You're absolutely right. Can you imagine that? I'm a timid centre back.
I can't imagine it.
No.
Genghis Khan. Yes, I would love if I had the time. So if anyone want to be the chief editor of Tactical Devils, send me an email and we can figure out something, because I need someone to help me out. making shorts. That's just
Trev knows me too well. You know me too well, Trev.
Fishing for confidence.
Well. Yeah, I need a hug. That's why, Trev. You know I need a hug. Yes. Oh, thank you, old friends. Thank you, old friends. That was very
I'll
kind.
try as good as I can.
Yeah, that was a good hug. Wrong way.
Yeah.
Which way am I going? No, it's that way, isn't it? No, which way am I going? That way. There you go. There you go. Oh.
Laurel and Hardy in the house.
Somebody's just throwing up now. Can you hear him?
And the show.
Let's end the show. Thank you, guys.
Let's end the show.
See you on Thursday or maybe tomorrow on United Wheel Therapy. So have a good one.
Maybe.
And good night. It's only one.